YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kim Chamberlain, the Canal Town Stitcher, and I'm really excited to come to you today. I really want to first say that I cannot be judged based on the condition of this room that we are in right now. It has been a little bit of a minute since I've had time to come into my room and actually do any kind of cleaning. The rest of my house is clean, I promise you, but this room is a mess, and I didn't even get up in time to make my bed today, so like I'm like fidgeting with the camera to try to make sure that you guys can't see any of that. But at the end of the day, you're not really here to judge whether or not I have a clean bedroom, and you know, like I can't judge the condition of anybody else's house. Busy, so since my last Flosstube, which was 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, we've had a graduation, not for me, but my godson graduated from high school, and his graduation party. It is also the last 2 days of school, tomorrow and Thursday, the last 2 days of school for me and for my youngest. I still have to work on Friday though, for a teacher work day. But it'll be the last day with my third graders on Thursday. You might be able to hear a little bit of an allergy going on. I've had like really bad allergies. I'm not really sure what from. We sat outside almost all day on Saturday, so something in my friend's yard like really got to me, and like my ears are plugged, and I'm just an allergy mess. But other than that, I feel great. You know, just a little bit of sounding like I'm like ew. Yeah, so the year is winding down. We're getting ready to go on vacation, so next week I'll be gone. I might do a vlog before we leave and just show you what I plan to work on while we're gone. We're going to be in North Carolina, and I'm excited about that. We've never stayed in an Airbnb before. Fingers crossed that it goes really well. We're taking all 4 of our kids and then 2 additional children. I don't know what we were thinking, but we're taking my son's girlfriend and his best friend, which is also our goddaughter. So we're taking them on this vacation, so it's well needed. My husband and I are both very tired. We're both ready for this like vacation. So yes, so there's life updates. Best new thing for the week. I don't really have a best new thing this week that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, if something comes up while I'm talking, then maybe I can mention something, but right now, life is good. We're just trying to get through the last bit of school and work, so that we can get to summer vacation. I don't know if any other teachers out there feel the same way that I do, but this year's a little bittersweet. We may have had some luxuries that we don't normally have, like small class sizes and things like that, but don't underestimate the ability that we have as teachers to bring joy to lives of children that we touch. I'm not saying that for me. I'm not trying to be boastful, but in this last year, through the pandemic, you know, we've had a lot of moments of insecurity when we didn't know what was going to happen next. If somebody in our class were to contract it, then we might be remote. We had to be ready on a moment's notice, and the kids knew that, and there was a tension among them as well, just that insecurity of knowing whether or not they were going to be in school the next day, or if we were going to get a phone call from contact tracing or anything like that. So it was very stressful for everyone. And just last week, when the governor I live in New York State, so the governor lifted restrictions outside for us, and I had taken my mask off for a second just to get some fresh air, and one of my students was like, "You look so different without your mask on." And then you realize that they've never seen you smile. They've never ever seen you smile. I have, you know, a pigment on my two front teeth from when I was very young and had a high fever. And normally at the very beginning of the school year, I talk about it with my students, you know, like, because it looks like I haven't taken care of my teeth, and really that's not it at all. It's because I have like this change of color from this high fever I had. And there's really nothing that I can do about it unless I want to get veneers, and I'm not ready for that yet. So normally when we talk about our differences, or like our similarities and differences at the beginning of the year, I show my students my teeth and we talk about it, and we talk about what happened to them and why it happens and why that makes me unique. And one of my students on Friday last week was like, Mrs. Chamberlain, don't you brush your teeth? I was like, yes. And I had to tell her the story because she didn't know. I had never told that story because all year long I'd been wearing a mask. And, you know, like, as third graders, they're very good at understanding, but like, they also, you know, don't have that filter either. They're not like thinking to themselves, maybe I shouldn't ask Mrs. Chamberlain about that. So, whereas my fifth graders were a lot more like, maybe I shouldn't say anything, and then, it, you know, like, I would always mention it to them at the beginning of the year anyway, but I was like, oh my goodness, that's something I didn't have to do because, you know, we were all wearing a mask. And, you know, the sad thing too is, like, you know, like, they would come in and they would have lost a tooth or something like that, and they would pull their mask down and say, Mrs. Chamberlain, look, and I'd see a gap, but like, to not see those smiles all the time because they're hiding behind a mask, it's just, it was a different year. I'm so much hoping and looking forward to a year where we won't have the masks in the way of looking at each other and actually seeing one another and actually being able to talk to one another and show emotion to each other. That's going to be very exciting. So yeah, so that's it. Best new thing, summer's coming, hopefully, for some of us. I didn't have any FFOs. I have a project that I'm going to be finishing, and I can't show it to you because it's my first design. For those of you that might be wondering about my designs, I'm still trying to figure out the business side of it. I'm pretty sure I have to have a tax ID number. I'm pretty certain that that's a good idea. I'm not ready to commit myself to that just yet. I want to talk to my husband and my accountant and talk to them about those things. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to pay sales taxes, like, directly to the state, and I've never done that before. So bear with me while I do more research on that and try to figure out how to get the business started. I do have the first chart ready for sale, and I am almost done with the model stitch. So as soon as I get answers to those questions and try to figure out that side of it, I'm hoping to launch my designs for sale. I was hoping to do it by mid-June, but obviously today is June 22nd and it hasn't happened yet. So hopefully when we get back from vacation, we'll be back by the end of next week. The beginning of the first week of July, I think I'll be able to really sit down and try to, like, really go through and start planning those things out. And as I do that, I'll let you know. The first model stitch should be FFO'd by my next time that I go on Flosstube, which I believe will not, it definitely won't be this weekend, but it will probably be the following weekend. I'll probably try to shoot for July 3rd to film my Flosstube and upload it so that it's done before the 4th, and I should have it FFO'd by then. So here's that. Let's get to the stitching. That's why we're all here, right? We're not here to view my messy bedroom, all right? That is for another day and another $1. Usually the first week that I'm home after school ends is like my week of, like, just cleaning. So any other working moms out there, you probably know what this is like. So I have 4 kids, 3 of them are teenagers, and they all have a chore to do the kitchen. Every 3 weeks, it's their turn. My cupboards and drawers are a mess from my kids putting all the stuff away. And every year, that first week after school's over, I go through my kitchen and I completely reorganize it and put everything back where it's supposed to go, just so that next year it can be a whole mess again. But I always clean the linen closets, so that second week or that first week out from school, I always clean the linen closets. So the kitchen gets reorganized, the linen closets are cleaned. All of the socks that are not matched get matched and put away. I think it's the only time of year that that ever happens in our house. And I try to go through my craft stuff and, you know, purge and kind of inventory and try to figure out what I'm going to be working on, plan out my projects, that type of thing. Those are the things that I normally do. This year, though, we're leaving for vacation, so I won't have that first week, so that all that stuff is going to be pushed a week back. But it'll still get done. I feel like if you're a working mom and you have any vacation time where you have like a staycation and you're not going anywhere, like that's the time when you would do these things that I'm talking about. Because when you're busy, you don't have time to stop the kids and say, that dish doesn't go there, or that doesn't go in that drawer, or those pans do not belong in that cupboard. Where are the cutting boards? Where are the pot holders? Those are the 2 things in this house that always go missing because they're never where they're supposed to be. One kid puts them here, another kid puts them there. It's a mess, but I'm looking forward to reorganizing and getting that stuff back into the places where they belong. Sometimes you have to put some of that stuff aside. Like if you're a type A personality, sometimes you have to put some of that aside, especially if you're delegating to teenagers who really don't care about whether or not they're putting something away in the right place. In their mind, they're putting it away. And that's what should matter. That's what I get. That's what should matter, Mom. I did the job. I might not have done it well or right, but I did it. We'll leave it at that. All right, so what did I work on the last 2 weeks? Well, I didn't work on too many items. I worked on a couple of things. So I did work on, I can show you a part of this. I don't really want to show you all of it until it's done, but this is my first design, and you can see more of this if you go back. I just don't want to show you the rest because it's pretty much done now, and I really want to debut it all complete and FFO'd before I do. But this is my first design. It is on 14 count gray Ada that I got from Everything Cross Stitch. It's only 3 colors, and this is a Quaker. It is so fun to stitch this. Every motif brought me joy. It's been really fun to watch it come together, and I cannot wait to show the final piece to you guys, all said and done. But like I said, there's only 2 motifs left to finish, and I'm hoping that I will have that done by the time that I go and do my Flosstube July 3rd. The next piece that I have to show you, I'm not sure where my cover is for this. I'll insert a picture. It'll be my first time, but I'll insert a picture, maybe right here. And so this is the Fold in the Cheese. It is by Stitchery on Etsy. It is a quote from Schitt's Creek, and I am this far done. I changed the color of the writing from blue to gray, but everything else is the same. The 2 yellows are the same. So cute. I love this. Love this. It's coming along so well. I was supposed to have this done for Father's Day because it's a gift for my husband, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. And this is on 28 count white Monaco that I had on hand. So hopefully that will be FFO'd by the time that we are done. All right, the next one that I worked on is my flea market flowers sale. This is a sale that's being done with the Fat Quarter Shop. It is, it started June 2nd, and I'm already like 2 weeks behind. Don't even ask me how. It's on the called for fabric, which is 25 count barley by Lori Holt. And it's with all the called for DMCs. I didn't switch out any. And this is my progress so far. So I think I'm doing pretty well considering that I'm a teacher and it's the last week of school. This one's complete. The first flower in the second box is done. And I have 2 more flowers left to finish in there. And then it's supposed to go across the top. So the next part would then be this part right here. This part and this part. So I have these, this was part 1, this is part 2, I think this is part 3, and then maybe 4, 5, 6 maybe? I don't know. I don't know exactly, but all I know is that I'm behind. But I love it. I love it. It is coming along so well. I love the colors of this. And so I will be working on this, obviously some more. This is probably definitely a vacation piece. It'll probably definitely go. I'm just looking forward to sitting on the beach and just doing very little except for cross stitching and reading. I'm gonna read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Last year I read 2 books of hers that were so good. One was called Mystic Lake and it was fantastic. And then I read another book of hers. I can't remember what it was called now. If it comes to me, I'll put it across the bottom of the screen. Both books were very good though. All right, the next one I worked on was this freebie I got from the Tiny Modernist. If you go onto her website and you look up her free patterns, you'll see this one. It's Happy 4th of July. I changed a few things on this. I changed the colors to 321 and 322. What do I have? Oh, I'm sorry, 311 and 498. 311 and 498 are the 2 that I changed it out to. So red, the red is 498 and the blue is 311. I thought the other colors were okay, but they were a little too bright for me. All right, so what did I do on this? So this is on 36 count. I'm stitching this 1/2 American froth linen. This was a scrap piece of fabric that I got from Hobby House Needleworks in Pittsburgh. And fix this needle because I think it's gonna fall out. All right, and here is my progress so far. So I changed out these 2 fireworks. I don't know, like you can go back and watch some of my previous floss tubes, but I talked about how the fireworks look like weird spiders to me when I tried to stitch them the way that they were stitched on the model. I think it's because I changed the size of the fabric because the original was stitched on 14 count, so that would probably make it a little easier. But this is on 36 count, so it just looked like a giant spider was stuck to this, and I hated it. So I changed it, my own little design there. So what do I have left? I have 2 fireworks left, and then the banner across the bottom. And then this will be done and ready for an FFO, which I'm hoping when I get back from vacation, I have 2 other pieces that I'm ready to FFO that I can just finish them. And this is going to become like an ornament type of thing. Guys, I apologize for my allergies. They make me sound like I'm really dying, and I'm not. I'm totally fine. Okay, So next is WIPGO. So my WIPGO projects for this month that were called, I think it was number 1 and number 17 were called. So, was it 1? I can't remember now, it's been so long. I know number 17 was called. I just don't know what the other number was. Anyway, so for me, number 17, I believe, is Let's Talk Autumn by Hands On Design. Let me get the pattern out here so you can see it. So here's the pattern. It's a little wrinkled. And I had started this in January. I'm doing it on 25 count vintage country mocha Lugana, and I love it. And I have set myself a goal to work on this for 10 hours or until it's done, and I think that it'll be finished. So the last time that you guys saw it, I had only gotten to, so here it is. And the last time that you guys had seen it, I had shown you, and it said apple, oops, focus, it said apple here. And so I did hay rides, cider, this arrow, and sweater is next. I was gonna say sweater weather. And then I found a mistake in the coffee cup. It's supposed to have, or this is cider. It's supposed to have another line at the bottom, but I somehow messed up and didn't do that. So this is up a row, but it didn't bother me enough to take any of it out. So it's gonna stay, even though it's up one row. But I definitely think, because this is what I have left, guys. So I have the rest of sweater and weather, and then obviously leaves coming down the side. I don't have that. And then these leaves here, these 2 pumpkins, and pumpkin patch. So I definitely am taking this on vacation. My plan is to finish this when we are in North Carolina. So this will be done. And then I can move on to the second one that I bought, which is the winter, Let's Talk Winter, which I think I'm gonna do on either navy fabric or maybe gray fabric. I haven't decided. I definitely think I want it on 25 count because I definitely think I want them to be the same size. I'm not sure how I'm going to frame this, so if I frame it with the same size, then I can just swap out the cross stitch instead of the whole frame. So I think that's my plan. I just don't have a for sure, yeah, that's definitely what I'm doing yet, but that's pretty much my plan. The other one that I have for WIPGO is my Advent Animals by Brooks Books Publishing, but I haven't worked on those yet. Don't worry, it's only the 22nd. I still have 8 days to work 10 hours on those, right? Let's see here, how many is that? 2 hours a day would be 5 days. I think I can try to do that. So that's it for my WIPs for the last 2 weeks. So very exciting. I worked a lot of hours on these. That's why I don't have as much to show, but I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of what I've been able to do in the last 2 weeks. All right, so let's talk haul. All right, so have I been shopping? No. I mean, like, yes, I have been shopping online, but I have not been shopping at all in the needle workshop. So what did I get in the mail? So I got 2 things in the mail. I got my Cottage Garden Samplings, A Time for All Seasons, series number 5. Remember how I said in the last video that I was going to cancel this series? Well, guess who didn't cancel the series? So here's my deal, guys. I am a rule follower and have been a rule follower since I was born, I think. I don't like to rock the boat or anything like that. I just am a very kind of go with the flow person. So I was like all mad because I was getting these so late. And then this one I got like right away. And I was like, maybe I can work it. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be all right. So we're giving it another shot. Because for one, I really, really, really like this chart. So this is called Busy Spring. And I love this chart. And I am definitely going to stitch this. It calls for 40 count. I may stitch this on 40 count, guys. That is a stretch for me because I'm normally like 32 count or lower. But I did buy some 40 count that I'm gonna try. This came with 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, which I think it could look nice on this too. This might actually work out well for this one. I think it would actually with those yellows. Yellow, by the way, is my favorite color. I love it. I don't think you can ever be unhappy around the color yellow. At least that's my thought. Okay. So that was the only thing I got like in the mail. Oh, that's not true. I'm lying. I'm lying to you. Next on my list is the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I got this summer, August 2021. This came. There is nothing in this that I'm going to stitch, so this is going to become an award for one of you when I hit 500 subscribers. Because I went through this whole book and there's really, I mean, like the only thing I might stitch, like these, I could probably stitch these or some ornaments that came in here. But even these, I'm not all like, I like the bird. But even these, I'm not all like, woohoo about. I don't know, there's just nothing in this one that was like speaking to me. I don't think I'm going to renew this after this year. Only because I'm liking my single charts that I'm buying. And so I feel like I could better spend my money like somewhere else. Plus I don't know what's usually coming in this. So without knowing what's like my options are going to be, I feel like I'm kind of spending money on something that I'm not really sure about to begin with. So anyways, when I hit 500 subscribers, this will go in one of the drawings that I do, and you might be a winner of this lovely Just Cross Stitch magazine. All right, the last thing I got in the mail was my 123 stitch order, and this is what I was so excited about. So I ordered fabric for Halloween Quaker because I'm going to start that. I said I was going to start it in June. I plan to start it this weekend. And I did go with Murky, which is the called for fabric, but this is 32 count Belfast linen, and I really like the Belfast linen. Like if I have to choose, I like Belfast. All right, so I'm just going to put this in front of me. You can't see me anymore, but you can see this beautiful fabric, and this is what Halloween Quaker is going to go on. So hopefully it's not too dark. The marbling isn't too dark, but this is the called for fabric, so you know, I feel like it should work if it's called for, right? But I do know that on the modeling is different on the 40 count, which is what is called for with this pattern. Oh my goodness, Kim, figure it out. All right. Which way does it go? It goes like this. It goes like that. I think. No, that is not how it goes. Good Lord. It's like folding a map. All right. Which I still did not do it right. I still didn't do it right. Anyway, so this came 32 count Murky. Was very excited that they actually had it in stock. I was able to get it. So that, I need to get some flosses for this. So I will probably be hitting up Walmart or Michael's in the next day or two. All right, the other thing that I got from 123 Stitch that I'm really excited about, and I went back and forth over this, guys. So there was a ton of Theresa Krugets that everybody was doing, and one of them was like Consider the Lilies, and Oh Joyous Day, I think was Blackbird Design. Just so many of these samplers were out there, and I was like starting to get the bug, like maybe if I wasn't doing one of those samplers, then something was wrong with me and I needed to have like my head examined. But one I just kept coming back to, like over and over and over again. And the one I kept coming back to was Theresa Kruget's Land That I Love. So the colors in this are what really drove me to this sampler. So these reds and blues, like I couldn't not fall in love with this chart. It's a big one. I'm probably gonna do this on 36 count, which would be the biggest one that I've ever done on 36 count. The model is stitched on 35 count. And I ordered all the called for colors. So when I ordered this chart, I got all of the colors that go with it. So I have them all. They're a mess. Don't mind me. Even though I probably have every single one of these DMC colors. So, yes. So I'm excited. I am excited. Okay, so I have all of these. So now I just need to figure out what I want to stitch it on. I know I want to stitch it on 36 count. I think, I'm not sure, this is stitched on Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works, I believe. Yes, Weeks Dye Works 35 count Tin Roof. I am not going to use Weeks Dye Works fabric for this. I will probably use Picture This Plus. And I will probably do it in more of a tanny color, more of a like brownie neutral. Maybe like khaki or sand colored. I don't know, I have some time because I'm not starting this guy until, I don't know, probably November. But I have everything but the fabric, so I could start it, technically could start it sooner. We'll see what the summer holds, but I'm not planning to start it anytime soon. All right, the last thing that I got that I can show you is I ordered the 2021 Prairie Schooler Santa, and I plan to stitch this one first. The reason I chose this one is for this snowy owl right here and this raccoon. We live, it says Winter Woods. We live on 19 acres of forest in Palmyra, which is in upstate New York. And so this just reminds me of the woods. Which is pretty cool. Very excited about it. So then I decided, what am I going to do with these Prairie Schooler Santas? Because I don't want like 20 of them. So I'm going to stitch each Santa for a significant year. So I'm going to stitch the 2000 Prairie Schooler Santa. That was the year my husband and I were married. We're going to be celebrating 21 years of marriage in July, which is so hard to believe. 2004, which was the year my son Ethan was born. 2006 for Ryan, 2008 for Grace, and 2010 for Adam. I'm also going to stitch the 2009 Prairie Schooler Santa, and that will be a memento to my mother who passed away in 2009. And then we will see what other Prairie Schooler Santas pop up that I feel like I'm ready to stitch. So maybe for my son's graduation, my oldest graduates in 2024, I might stitch that one. Or maybe for the year that my daughter gets married, who knows. That's kind of like what I'm thinking right now as far as those Santas are concerned. So I'm gonna start this one in July, along with my Jolly July starts, which I have, oh my gosh, so many Stitching with a Housewife charts. I kind of went crazy on Mother's Day. They had a 20% off sale. I bought a bunch of stuff that day, and I had bought a whole bunch of stuff at like New Year's time. They had a 20% off sale, and I bought a whole ton of stuff then too. And I really have to go through my charts and try to figure out like what I want to stitch when, because I've ordered and purchased so many. I need to start kitting things up. It's going to be a busy summer. So what are my plans? My plans. So my plans are this: to finish the school year. That's number one. Number two, to go on vacation and take some things with me that I already have kitted up that I'm already working on. That would be my Advent Animals and my Let's Talk Autumn for WIPGO. And then also my Flea Market Flowers, my Halloween Quaker that I'm starting on Saturday. Yes. Then when I get back from vacation, that first week is going to be my Organize My Life week, which is what I was talking about earlier, organizing my kitchen, linen closets, and things like that. I also have planned to make 2 or 3 new project bags that week. I had shown the fabric for that a couple weeks ago, and it's still sitting here, and it's calling to me to make those project bags, so I'm going to be doing that. I have a baby blanket that I need to make. I'm going to a baby shower on July 3rd. So I'll be working on that. And then in July, I'm going to be working on my Stitching with the Housewives. So I have a Gingham Greetings 2 that I'm working on. I started that back in Christmas time, and it's still not done, so I'm going to finish that. Then I have to FFO 2 of those ornaments, because I'll have those both done, and they both need to be FFO'd. Then I'm going to work on Up on the Housetop. And so that one is Up on the Housetop. Here comes Santa Claus. I don't know. I'll show you when we get to that point. And then I'm going to be really focused on my Advent Animals. I'm going to be really focused on Peace on Earth by Cottage Garden Samplings. Those are Christmas pieces. And then I have my 2 Mania projects that I started that are Christmas projects that I've been kind of waiting for July to do the stitching, the Christmas in July. And that is Santa's, or Santa Sampler and Countdown to Christmas, which are both Country Cottage Needleworks patterns. And that's it for plans. So I guess I'm going to end here. I hope everybody has a great stitchy week, the last week of June. I hope you're getting your WIPGO projects done. I hope you're all enjoying summer, if you have summer started already, and that you're looking forward to summer, if you're still waiting for summer to come. I hope everybody has a great rest of the month and very successful stitching month, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.